Okay, that last video ended short because evidently my phone was full. I had no more storage. So I had to take care of that for a bit, but I'm back. I went ahead and put in the lamp post. I used these grays and a little bit of black and highlighted. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you how I'm going to put in the words. Again, it's a little on the tedious side, so I don't see any reason to bore you with it forever. I also want to show you a little bit about the path and the grass around the path. So I think I'm going to do that first. So the path grass is this green is the same shade as I used on the pastels. So what I'm going to do is just put in a little texture where that grass should be, and that's going to take a little time in here and there because I'm going to go beyond what just the soft background, but you can see it's just kind of a scritchy motion, this and that. The grass is random, but it also does certain things. If you start at the bottom and go up, it gives you the little thinner wispy tops because it is thinner at the top than the bottom. So that's a little, and then I can kind of do these little back and forth little bits to get in some areas to indicate that that's still a grassy area. Now this little pencil, it's a little bit lighter. See, this is the other one. So between the two of those, I will put in some pebbles. So maybe like a more of a textury path. See, and maybe a little of this gray would look good. Yeah. So just trying to kind of indicate that this is not just a smooth paved road here. It's got a little bit of texture to it. Okay, so that's going to go all along the path. The grass is going to come up on either side. So again, layering. What's the order? This grass comes up on that path. So if I put the grass on first, when I come over here to put the bit on the path, it's going to go over top that grass, right? So I really need to wait and put the grass in after I've done the path. And a little bit of this one sandy color might look nice too. Yeah, that's a little on the yellow side. I'm not sure about that. Let's kind of buff that out. This is more, that's still a little on the orange side, but not bad. Yeah, kind of like that. Kind of gives it a, maybe there's a little dirt on there, you know, it's a path where the grass is worn thin and you can see the dirt underneath. So that's the kind of thing. You just want this texture. Whatever you decide to do, you want to keep it consistent through the path. Maybe if the rocks are this far, or the gravel, or whatever the texture is, if it's that far apart there, it's probably going to be a little closer up in here. It just needs an indication up there. So that's something to consider as well. So you see kind of what I'm doing. I'm just going to do this area and then move on to the letters, because watching me do all this on a full video is, like I said, a little on the boring side. But if I've done this area, then I can come in and put some more of my grass in across that path. Okay, so that's that. So those are those colors, so I'll set those aside. And then what I was thinking of on this, the wording, I have adjusted a little because obviously these are vines. So I have a couple of these that have made the words actually be the vines. So, and then I will also take a fatter micron pen and re-go over these lines of these words to darken that up. But in the meantime, I'm just going to come on here with these pencils. And then, just like I did with the vine over there, I kind of do it a little bit two-tone. I'll do a little green, and then I'll do the darker green, just to give it some interest. So I'm going to do that over the entire word. I'm just going to do this one entire word so you can see. Now, if you're looking at this because you want to see how to color the pages that I put in the coloring book, your skill level and the tools you use, the art supplies, might be entirely different from what I've used here. So I encourage you to do what you want to do. Don't try to recreate what I'm doing. If you want orange flowers and purple leaves, do it. It's your picture. So there's no rules to this just because I made the color of this one a certain thing. So there's it. There it is. Okay. Go through there. You could, colored pencil would be a good medium to use, and a marker. You might have some markers. You can buy a marker. I got some at Michael's. They're the Michael's brand, the Artist Loft, and they were a watercolor marker, but they had a brush tip. I need to sharpen this. And they had a fine tip of the same color. And they're watercolor based, so if you wanted to add water now on a coloring book, it is most likely, and mine will not be printed on watercolor paper. That would make it almost cost prohibitive for people. I think you can purchase watercolor paper coloring books, and I might look into that. Maybe do a watercolor version for those that really like doing watercolor. But most people don't, and therefore they're gonna, if I made them all my books that way, you'd be paying more for paper that you don't need. But those markers, you can use them and not get them wet. So, I mean, they're versatile, like the those watercolor pencils that I have. They're very versatile. You don't have to get them wet, but you can. So those markers are very versatile as well. I actually use them in my journaling just because I like using them and they're fun to add color. I discovered several years ago that my issue with not journaling and writing down the thoughts God was giving me when I was doing my Bible study was not so much that I didn't like to write as I didn't like the lines prohibiting me, which is where this coloring book idea came from, because I started drawing out the verses, and drawing out the verses and adding color to them helped me remember the verses. So, and remember what God was trying to teach me. So I started doing that, and then I was posting it just because I thought if it was encouraging me, maybe it would encourage someone else. So I just would post what I'd done, and people liked it, and my husband said, you know, you should make a book. And then I had people asking about a coloring book. And so there will be a devotional. I am working on it, but I'm also working on the coloring book, because the coloring book I could produce a little faster simply because obviously a devotional the devotions need to be written, and I need to figure out which verses go with which devotions, which is pretty simple. That's not too hard to figure out, because I would work on reading the Bible and write down verses that I was reading. So, I mean, it's all together in my journal, but I still have to turn that journal into something that makes sense to someone besides me. So it's going to take me a little longer, but I felt like I could get the coloring book out a little quicker. So that's the story. So here we go. So when you're putting color on these pages, if you happen to like coloring books and you get my coloring book, or you get a different coloring book from someone, there's oodles of them out there, then, you know, do what you want to do. You can play with shading. You could play with these pastel pencils that blend. Or you could, see, all I'm doing is I'm kind of picking one side that's darker. And then, or you could outline with a darker color and then come in with a lighter one. The medium is going to dictate which one you should do first. These pastel pencils, I find the lighter color goes better on top. So when I come in with this lighter color, it blends into the darker one and even can cover the darker one. Where if I go the other way around, it completely obliterates the lighter one and there isn't that nice blending that I'm trying to get here. So, nice thing about coloring is if you cover up that initial ink line, it's really not a big deal. It's, again, it's your piece. Once you've started putting color on, it's up to you what it should look like. So here we go. There. I'm just going to do these couple words. I might come along. Let me take this and get this curly Q in the dark color. I might come along. So that's the green. Is there a lighter green? Yeah. Yellow. I like to use yellow as a highlight. Seems like this needs a little blending. That looks interesting. See how that is just kind of funny looking, blotchy looking. So I'm smoothing it. I could also use that smoothing stick, the blending stick for this. I kind of like this bit of yellow, kind of brightens it up a bit. Oopsie daisy, went off the edge. Oh well, guess I'm going to continue that so it looks like I did it on purpose, right? And didn't have my hand rested well. Oh, I like this yellow kind of streaking through the middle there. That looks pretty. I like that a lot. Okay, now I'll do those same colors down here with the word light and the word feet because I have those as branches. So I think what I might do then is I might use this more rusty color with some of the light color in it for the word path. And I might use the colors I used in the lamp post on the word lamp. So just as I go, I'll play around and I will post one more video when I am finished and putting on maybe some finishing touches so you can see what it looked like at the end. Thanks for watching.